Just say my name.
That's crossing a line. It would be inappropriate.
Then let's be inappropriate.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most scintillating forbidden loves that have ever graced our television. Look out for romantic spoilers ahead.
What's happening?
Don't worry about it.
Number 20, Piper Halliwell and Leo Wyatt, Charmed.
You asked me to marry you, and I did. You wanted a family, and I gave you a son. And now you want me to watch you just walk away?
Piper and Leo were one of the longest-running couples on Charmed, and perhaps one of the couples plagued with the most heartache. Leo entered the Charmed One's lives when he was assigned by heavenly beings called the Elders to be the sisters' white lighter, or guardian angel of sorts. White lighters and witches were forbidden from being involved romantically, but the connection between Piper and Leo was just too strong to ignore.
How do you feel about guys who make the second move?
Love him.
That forbidden aspect to their relationship plagued them continuously throughout the show, keeping them apart time and time again. But in the end, these two proved they belonged together.
We changed the past to fix the future and save the present. That's all.
Number 19, Brandon and Callie Foster, the Fosters. Sure, Brandon and Callie are not actually related, but there are still a lot of roadblocks when it comes to dating as foster siblings.
Don't. We can't.
Yes, we can. You can still get adopted. And I'll stay at my dad's. We can see each other there.
Behind everybody's backs?
The romantic feelings between Brandon and Callie seemed obvious to viewers from the moment they met. Brandon acted on these feelings fairly early, but Callie was more hesitant to move forward, knowing that if she became involved with a foster sibling, she might be kicked out of the house.
But you don't just ruin things for you. You ruin them for me too. Because we're a package deal. You know they're not going to separate us.
The two ultimately ended up pressing down their feelings for each other to ensure that Callie could get adopted. But Brally shippers out there in the world still hold out hope that something might have been possible for these two beyond the series' end.
I'm ready to risk the blame. Call me your own. And we'll never need their rules to guide the way.
Number 18, Victoria Grayson and David Clark, Revenge. Revenge was filled with plenty of twists and turns over its 4-year run, but nothing was quite as surprising as the relationship between Victoria Grayson and David Clark.
I couldn't save her in the end, so what does it matter?
It matters to me.
Victoria was part of the reason that David Clark was framed for the crashed Flight 197. We had this information for most of the series' run, but then romance threw a wrench in what we thought we knew. Turns out, before the series, Victoria and David engaged in an affair that resulted in the birth of Victoria's daughter, Charlotte.
So you knew that she was my daughter, and you painted her as an enemy?
She is my enemy, David.
Victoria was forced by Conrad to blame David, and she ends up deeply affected by her actions throughout the course of the show. We're not gonna lie, things don't end up great for these two, and it was twisted while it lasted.
This is about us, about how you can lie to me, yet demand absolute honesty.
Number 17, Lee Apollo Adama and Kara Starbuck Thrace, Battlestar Galactica.
Did you say you love me?
Well,
Lee Adama loves me.
no, all I meant was...
No, seriously, very sweet. You love me.
Come on, who hasn't fallen into a complicated yet loving relationship with their dead fiancé's brother? No? Just Kara Thrace then? Well, it might not be normal, but it's certainly made for compelling television.
Good to see you too, Captain.
Remind me to send you to the brig later.
The complexities between Kara Thrace and Lee Adama started way before the events of Battlestar Galactica. Any chance of a romance between the two seems impossible because of Kara's previous engagement to Lee's brother Zach. Even more than that, the two are so completely different. But sometimes, those differences are the things that make them seem destined to be together.
Besides, I never really could say no to anything.
Except me.
Especially you.
Number 16, Alicia Florrick and Will Gardner, The Good Wife.
Do you think it was a mistake?
No.
Workplace relationships are taboo for a reason. But when your chemistry is as hot as Alicia and Will's, maybe exceptions should be made. Throughout The Good Wife, Will makes his attraction to Alicia quite plain, but she tends to push him away.
Oh my God, listen to yourself, Will. You are not the injured party here.
What, and you are?
I am, yes!
It probably doesn't help that she is married and her husband is in prison. She's going through a lot, okay? But even with all those obstacles between them, the sheer passion between Alicia and Will pushes their relationship forward. Making out in elevators has never been this sexy.
Say goodbye to the world you thought you lived in.
Number 15, Elena Gilbert and Damon Salvatore, The Vampire Diaries.
You want me.
Excuse me?
I get to you. You find yourself drawn to me. You think about me even when you don't want to think about me. I bet you even dreamed about me.
It's a tale as old as time. In so many of our favorite stories, a vampire and a human fall in love but can't be together because one of them literally consumes part of the other for sustenance. But The Vampire Diaries didn't stop there. They threw a love triangle with a brother into the mix.
He didn't tell me he had a brother.
Well, Stefan's not one to brag.
At the beginning of The Vampire Diaries, Elena begins dating the vampire Stefan Salvatore. Then his brother Damon shows up, hell-bent on taking revenge on his brother and doing some truly horrific things to Elena. The two start off as foes, but eventually that animosity turns into a tentative friendship and later, love.
You've been a terrible person. You made all the wrong choices, and of all the choices that I've made, this will prove to be the worst one, but I am not sorry that I'm in love with you.
Number 14, Carrie Matheson and Nicholas Brody, Homeland. If you're working for the CIA, it's probably a given that you shouldn't become romantically involved with someone who's under investigation for terrorism. But on Homeland, Carrie Matheson was never one for playing by the rules.
I know. Pissed off all my college boyfriends, too.
All of them.
Both of them.
In season 1, she takes an investigation into her own hands, looking into a possible POW turned terrorist named Brody outside of CIA protocol. She eventually strikes up a romantic relationship with him. And when he finds out about her initial intentions, he's unhappy to say the least.
It was my job. It is my job.
So you're still spying?
I'm working. I'm always working.
The back and forth between Carrie and Brody forms the meat of much of the first few seasons of the show. We know this relationship isn't a great idea, but listen, you could cut that tension with a knife.
I do feel used. And played. And lied to. I also feel good.
Number 13, Leslie Knope and Ben Wyatt, Parks and Recreation.
We tried hanging out together, we tried working together, and it just bums me out.
No. We're just working out the kinks. You don't need to decrease your time with me. In fact, you need to increase your time with me. You need to spend more time with me. That makes sense? I think it does.
The Pawnee, Indiana Parks and Recreation Department might not be as intense a workplace as some, but it certainly can breed illicit romances of its own.
I don't want anyone to think that you got where you are today by sleeping with your boss.
But I really like sleeping with my boss.
Yeah.
Ben Wyatt doesn't show up on Parks and Recreation until the end of season 2. But it's hard to imagine the show without his and Leslie's incessant flirting. They are explicitly forbidden from dating each other, and Leslie's bid for city leadership doesn't necessarily leave a lot of time for romance. Despite the setbacks they face, however, it's clear from the get-go they've always got each other's backs.
How would you imagine we do this?
I don't know, but I know how I feel, and I want to be with you. But I'm done steamrolling people. This is how I feel. How do you feel?
Number 12, Meredith Grey and Derek Shepherd, Grey's Anatomy. Picture this. You have a one-night stand before your first day at your new job. You show up to your new job and realize that your one-night stand, he's your boss.
Dr. Shepherd, we should pretend it never happened.
What never happened? You sleeping with me last night? Or are you throwing me out this morning? Because both are fond memories I like to hold on to.
Later, you're maybe starting to get used to the idea of dating at the workplace. Then, your boyfriend/boss's estranged wife shows up. This is the kind of thing that Meredith Grey is dealing with on Grey's Anatomy.
He's a brain surgeon. How can he be so brainless?
Hello? Seriously?
Seriously!
Despite all those early hurdles for Meredith and Derek Shepherd's forbidden romance, they quickly become one of the show's most beloved couples. Meredith's "Pick Me" speech is still one of the most iconic moments in television history.
Pick me. Choose me. Love me.
Number 11, Fleabag and the Priest. Fleabag, dating a man of the cloth? Well, that's probably about as forbidden as you can get. But rules never stopped Fleabag before, and she's not about to let them stop her now.
Tell me your sins, if you want.
Why would I tell
Because it will make you
my
feel
sins?
better. And because I want to know.
The second season of Phoebe Waller-Bridge's amazing show Fleabag was somehow better than its first. A lot of that had to do with the introduction of Andrew Scott's affectionately nicknamed Hot Priest.
He's been annoying, Ashley.
What is that?
What?
That thing that you're doing. It's like you disappear.
What?
What are you not telling me?
The relationship between Fleabag and the priest starts friendly enough. They're eventually pushed over that line, however, leaving the audience wondering how things would turn out. The answer? With one of the most heartbreakingly profound endings of any show ever.
I love you.
It'll pass.
Number 10, Allison Bailey and Noah Soloway, The Affair.
You found me.
No, I was just out on a walk.
Extramarital affairs certainly count as forbidden. When Noah Soloway meets Allison Bailey at the diner where she works as a waitress, he's a happily married man. Or at least mostly happy.
Well, welcome to the end of the world.
Allison herself is trying to get her life back together after the death of her son. While cheating isn't cool, they, like others on this list, are captivated by desire.
You're married too?
That's right. Surprise.
With the story told from the shifting, often differing perspectives of these two leads, it is a provocative look into the minds of people who know deep down they should not be together.
Let's dance.
There's no music.
There is music. Come on. Come on.
Number 9, Cole Turner and Phoebe Hallowell, Charmed.
Phoebe, what's going on?
I'm embracing my new destiny.
The first but not last supernaturally star-crossed lovers, Cole and Phoebe got off to a rocky start. As half-demon soldier Balthazar, Cole was sent after the Charmed sisters by the Triad.
Are you sure about this? You're giving up your life.
My life is with you and our baby.
However, his human side emerged when he fell in love with Phoebe and it began to be his dominant trait. Sadly, things couldn't stay rosy for long.
We've been through so much together, haven't we? Our love's so strong, nothing can destroy it, not even this.
When he became possessed by the source of all evil, Phoebe temporarily joined him as an evildoer. However, she would eventually break things off in a big way with the help of her sisters.
We're meant to be together.
I don't think so.
Number 8, Saeed Jarrah and Nadia Jassim, Lost. This dynamic and game-changing series from the early 2000s pushed the boundaries of long-form storytelling in many ways, with engaging characters carrying the addictive, if at times convoluted, plot.
Nadia. Her name is Nadia.
One such character is Saeed Jarrah, one of the Oceanic Six. Saeed and Noor Nadia Abed Jassim first meet as children and schoolyard friends. As an adult, Saeed joins the Iraqi Republican Guard, while Nadia is a freedom fighter against Saddam Hussein's regime.
If you prove you're willing to cooperate, I think I can get them to free you.
When she's captured, it's Saeed's job to interrogate her. Instead, he falls in love with her all over again and helps her to escape.
Come with me.
I can't. Desertion. They would kill my family.
Number 7, Ned and Charlotte Chuck Charles, Pushing Daisies.
What do you need to be happy?
You.
Ned's got a very particular talent. With the touch of a finger, he can bring the deceased back to life. Charlotte, aka Chuck, was the girl next door and Ned's childhood crush. Sadly, in adulthood, she's murdered. So Ned takes it upon himself to resurrect his one-time sweetheart. There is a catch, however. Another touch puts anyone Ned has resuscitated back down for good. Despite being in love, they can never touch. Not a kiss goodnight, not a little hand-holding at sunset.
Are you watching me sleep?
No. Sorta.
but mainly I was just waiting for you to wake up, and in the process of waiting for you to wake up, I was watching you sleep.
They come up with creative ways to be in contact. Smooch through a body bag, anyone? But they are still playing a dangerous game of keep away.
Can you give Digby another hug?
Oh, yeah, of course I will. Do you want a hug? Come on.
Tighter. Give his belly a rubber.
Number 6, Tom Branson and Sybil Crawley, Downton Abbey.
It won't be long now. So will you wait?
I'd wait forever.
This is the classic tale of two lovers from opposite sides of the tracks. Sybil is the youngest daughter of a well-established aristocratic house. She might have progressive views, but her future path seems set for her until she meets Tom Branson, the new chauffeur.
It seems rather unlikely, a revolutionary chauffeur.
Maybe. But I'm a socialist, not a revolutionary. And I won't always be a chauffeur.
An Irishman and outspoken socialist, he is in many ways against everything the Crawley family represents in society.
Sometimes a hard sacrifice must be made for a future that's worth having. That's all I'm saying. That's up to you.
However, despite their different backgrounds, they have similar political minds, and it isn't long before their romance blossoms in spite of her family's initial disapproval.
For now, God knows it's enough that I can kiss you.
When they're discovered, they do everything they can to stay together, finally achieving their happy ending, if not for long.
Don't leave me. Please wake up, love. Please don't leave me.
Number 5, Olivia Pope and Fitzgerald Fitz-Grant, Scandal.
I think that love allows for forgiveness. Don't you?
With a name like Scandal, you know this show is going to be filled with salacious secrets. Olivia Pope helped Fitz-Grant make it to the White House, but their professional relationship crosses lines and leads to a scandalous affair.
You almost died.
Yes.
Don't do it again.
Okay.
But once the stump speeches and the election are over, who's still jumping into bed is another thing.
Kiss me, Olivia. You know you want to.
Washington, D.C. is a hotbed of secrets and political one-upmanship, and despite all the work to get Grant into the Oval Office, an extramarital affair could mean the undoing of everything they built. Number 4, Dayanara Daya Diaz and John Bennett, Orange is the New Black.
You shouldn't really be out here.
It's okay. I wanted to see you.
Every relationship has its own power dynamic as two partners figure each other out, which is why in situations where the balance is already unnaturally tipped, romantic relations are not typically recommended. That being said, this is a forbidden romance list, and Dannett is an undeniably cute couple. John Bennett is, or was, a correctional officer at Litchfield Penitentiary. Daya Diaz is an inmate.
Look at the dog. This is so great.
You can already see the problem here. However, despite the taboo nature of their romance, they communicate through notes and quickie hookups. Daya becomes pregnant with John's child, a fact that could get John in serious trouble.
We will probably never be rich. And we'll most likely live in a place that's not that big, but we'll work hard and we'll love each other and we'll find so much happiness that we won't even know what to do with it.
The strain it all puts them through is just as real as the love is.
Will you marry me?
Number 3, Ezra Fitz and Aria Montgomery, Pretty Little Liars.
I'd like to know more about you.
Yeah. I'd like to know more about you too.
Ever gone out and met someone really cute at a bar? Someone you connected to and with whom you shared interests as well as had a physical attraction to?
Without saying that I'm hooked on you.
Did that person turn out to be your high school teacher? Well, this is the situation that Ezra Fitz and Aria Montgomery find themselves in.
Holy crap.
Aria tries to do what she feels is the right thing, asking to be transferred out of the cute young prof's class because she doesn't think she could help herself and doesn't want to put him in an awkward position.
I'd like to transfer out of your class.
But the stars align a different way and she stays. Professor-student relationships are highly taboo, but we're sure glad we got Ezra despite it. Number 2, Bill Compton and Sookie Stackhouse, True Blood.
You're our first.
Am I that obvious?
I knew the minute you came in.
What's the only thing more complicated than friends becoming lovers? When one of them is a vampire, of course. Even in a world where vampires have come out into the open, the situation is fraught with peril and so many ups and downs we don't even know where to begin.
What are you?
I told you, I'm a waitress.
Sookie Stackhouse is a half fairy, half human with the ability to read people's thoughts. Bill Compton is a 150-plus-year-old vampire. You'd think their supernatural status would be enough, but in the end, theirs is a love story marred by tragedy, betrayal, redemption, and heartache.
I always thought as different as we are, somehow we could still be together. And now I don't know.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Buffy Summers and Angel, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I love you. I try not to, but I can't stop.
Me too.
Buffy doesn't just slay some serious vampire butt, but she looks good doing it. The teenage slayer is stumped, therefore, when she encounters Angel, a vampire who is not like the rest. He actually seems to have a soul.
You're the mystery guy that appears out of nowhere. I'm not saying I'm not happy about it tonight, but if you are hanging around, I'd like to know why.
Maybe I like you.
Cautious indifference turns to attraction, however, as it becomes apparent they're on the same side, at least for a time. When they consummate their love and his soul is suddenly lost, things get real bad real fast.
I love you.
Close your eyes.
It's been 20 years and we're still not over the tragedy that was becoming. And cue the Sarah McLachlan. If we missed any of your favorite illicit affairs, let us know in the comments below.
Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Only us.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.